of the first big sales movies I saw was the movie called Boiler Room. And man, my mind was blown. This was in high school. I was like, man, that is so cool. These guys are so persuasive. Soon I came to realize these guys were con artists. And obviously in the movie, you saw that as well. That's not selling, that's tricking people. Over the years, I came to realize that effective selling consists of you educating the buyer and then the buyer persuading themselves to purchase your product or your service. But many sellers don't do that. We feel that we have to try to go into the features and benefit and trick you into getting it. And today, it just ain't gonna work. Now you gotta make sure you educate the buyer. And in today's conversation, we're gonna talk exactly about that and how you can do it effectively. This episode is brought to you in part by Sales Success Summit. If you're a sales rep and you're looking for ways to improve your skills, you want to learn from the top 1% of sellers, you need to attend Sales Success Summit. The event is held this year, October 14th through 15th in Austin, Texas. To find more information, visit the show notes or go to top1summit.com. Again, top1summit.com. This episode is also brought to you in part by TSE Certified Sales Training Program. Learn how to find more ideal customers, build stronger value, close more deals. There are 12 modules available in the program. The first 2 modules are absolutely free. Test them out for yourself. Go to thesalesevangelist.com/free course. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist podcast. I'm your host, Donald Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, we have Mr. Derek Badala. Now, Derek is the director of sales for a company called Synthax. Now, the cool thing about this company is that we met at Podcast Movement, and they have some amazing equipment, which we are looking into getting for our company. And I'm telling you, stuff's going to be mind-blowing. We're trying to get our game to the next level with our podcast. And Derek and his team educated me. They gave me some great wisdom, some great ideas, and guidance on what I should be doing if we really want to take our podcast to a higher altitude. Think about it like yesterday's episode. If you want to think small, you're going to be small. If you think big, you're going to be big. And I'm grateful for the conversation that we had and education that he offered. Being who he is, I said, man, this guy would be cool to bring on as a guest on the podcast. He's doing something that's fantastic. He's educating people. And that's what our sales discussion was about, how he can help his sales reps become more consultative and educate their buyers and eventually build their pipeline and close more deals. Welcome to the show, Derek.
Hey, how you doing?
Man, I'm super excited. And we're here at Podcast Movement. You guys probably can hear it. We're on the trade show floor. And Derek and his team, we're talking about mics. And one of the things that we're trying to do is upgrade our equipment. And he's an awesome sales leader. And we started talking and having a discussion. And I figured it'd be a great guest to bring on for this episode of Sales from the Street. Derek actually is located here in South Florida as well. And I'm up in West Palm Beach. So now we're cousins. We're like close friends. And we'll probably go out for lunch. But Derek is going to talk to us today about one of the biggest challenges that he faced as a sales leader, how he overcame that challenge, and the results he's seeing today. But before we dive into all that fun stuff, Derek, why don't you tell us a little bit more about you and what you do?
Sure. My name's Derek Badala. I'm the director of sales at Synthax. Synthax is a worldwide company. We got 6 or 7 offices in different parts of the world. Our office handles North America and South America. And our home brand is RME. So RME and Synthax are the same company essentially, and we distribute other brands. And the way we're set up essentially is we have independent sales rep firms in all parts of the country and other parts of our territory. And my job is to travel with them and educate them and basically make them a replication of myself.
Yeah.
And then they're calling on resellers, integrators, contractors, because we're in the audiovisual industry. So there's a lot of consulting that goes on. So if, say, a football team wants to build a new stadium, they hire a consultant. We're trying to influence those consultants to spec what we do, and on it goes. So
Well, understanding that you have a lot of interaction and you have like sometimes probably feel like herding cats with sales reps all over the country.
Oh, yeah.
Get them all on the same page.
Sure.
What is the biggest struggle that you have faced as a sales leader?
So in our industry, one of our biggest challenges is the technology, because a lot of times it's not like selling a musical instrument or a car where you're getting like, buy today and get this discount and all this kind of slick willy stuff.
Yeah.
It's more about solving problems. But in order to do that, you have to understand the product and, more importantly, its application. So my biggest challenge, frankly, is education, is getting the sale, because they're representing other brands too. And everybody's trying to get a sale, right? That's their job.
Yeah.
So there's always this rush to close the deal, and there's not enough time spent on asking questions, qualifying the customer, learning what their pain points are and how to solve it. In order to do all that, you have to know your product well and how it fits in their application. So our challenge is education, covering all the various ways in which the products can be used. And it's less about features and benefits and more about what is it you're trying to do?
Yes.
And then how can my solution make your life easier?
Have you had a situation where a sales rep did exactly what you're saying, where they skipped those steps and they came to you saying, man, Derek, I got this awesome guy ready to buy.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. Do you have any situations like that?
I'm actually in the middle of one right now. So working with a representative down in Texas, and we picked up a new product line by the name of Digigram. And without getting in a long discussion, basically, it essentially allows a customer, let's say you own a fast food chain.
Yeah.
And you have your headquarters in Dallas, and you want background music in all your stores, and you want it consistent, but you want to be able to put announcements in.
Yeah.
And maybe you want to customize announcements in this region versus that region. So we have a product, and in the world of audio, they call it audio codec. You encode at headquarters and you decode at the restaurant. And you have one thing at headquarters and many things at the restaurant. So he was all excited about the solution. We both didn't understand all of the things that go into that in terms of CDNs and Shoutcast and doing streaming services and blah, 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 blah. And so the customer's all excited and ready to do something, and we just don't know our stuff.
Yeah.
So we got ahead of ourselves. We should have better studied what we're talking about, know the needs of the client, know exactly how our products fit, and then just provide them a simple, detailed, jing, 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 this is what you need, and this is how it works.
So what I'm getting from this, though, when sales reps are not doing this, and you're saying if they're skipping these steps, this affects the whole thing. The deal might fall apart. And as a sales leader, for you, if
everybody looks bad.
Yeah. And your pipeline is going to be all jacked up if you have a bunch of these inflated opportunities that are not real.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So that would be a more complex scenario.
Yeah.
And then the other aspect of our company is we sell widgets that, even if you go into a particular music store, you could buy our widget. And so the challenge there is educating the people on the sales floor who walk into, say, a music store, and they're asking questions about, I want to record my band, or I'm a songwriter and I have a guitar and I want to record myself. And many times what happens is people that work in the retail stores have their favorite thing, and they just immediately go to it. And so trying to get people to ask questions before you sell your favorite solution, because you like it, doesn't make it right for everybody else. And that's always a challenge. And many times customers get sold something that they're not happy with, frustrated, and then they leave the whole experience not trusting anybody. And then when somebody who has good intentions that wants to help them, they're a little bit like, I don't want to be sold. So it can kind of really work against you if you're not careful.
How did you go about fixing this problem now with your team?
So we do a lot of trade shows. What we do is we teach a lot of classes.
Yeah.
In most industries, there's usually an organization that will corral class teaching and maybe certify folks with a certain designation. And in our industry, that's no exception. So the way we solved it is we wanted to start teaching classes on audio networking, how to do audio over IT networks. We wanted to teach classes on how to choose the right audio interface if you're a musician, because you could walk into a music store and be sold just about anything.
Yep.
So we teach a class on that, and it's brand agnostic. We don't say, buy my stuff is the best. It's just, here are the factors you need to consider about when you want to purchase something like this. And we educate the market, we educate the customers, we do webinars, and a lot of things like that. The other way we do it is through, and you probably heard the term lunch and learn.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of lunch and learns, and we travel quite a bit. And I think as an organization, it's easy to say, well, the internet is my save-all way to disseminate information. But there's nothing as awesome and as effective as getting in front of people, teaching them, obviously buying them lunch, and educating them on whatever it is that's pertinent to them. And yeah, of course you loop in your products, but it's done in a very graceful way. It's more about, here are the solutions you should be looking for. And oh, by the way, this product happens to do it.
How do you get into sales reps to be you and to do those things now? To practicing with them, role plays, things like that? Or
yeah, but bigger than that would be traveling with them, and they're attending these sessions too. And so they're hearing I hate to use the phrase sales pitch, but they're hearing the pitch over and over. They're seeing me ask questions of the group, answer, respond. And again, they're not watching me go through a litany of features and benefits. They're just saying, okay, he asked this question. Oh, I can use that.
Yeah.
Tell a story. Hey, the Memphis Zoo uses this product, and this is how they get audio around their venue. And if somebody walks in a room and it triggers something to happen, then the exhibit starts playing back a narration. And so having good stories of how the products have been used, successful use stories. I mean, the one thing I'll say is, you ever watch the Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
What you're hearing at Super Bowl halftime show is this product.
Oh.
If you watch NBA or NHL games, you're hearing one of our products. So just by that simple exchange of dialogue, immediately everybody like, oh, okay, I can relate to that.
And the credibility goes out the roof,
the credibility goes way up. So knowing those types of little nuggets can really get everybody leaned in and focusing on what you're saying.
What are the results you're seeing right now getting with your sales reps doing this and you guys doing a lunch and learn and educating the customer and getting the sales rep a little bit more educated? What are some of your results you're seeing right now as a leader?
Our sale, I mean, I started at the beginning of 2017 and we've been growing ever since. And obviously, anytime you take on a new product line, you will have bigger growth than typical because you've just added a revenue stream that you didn't normally have. But just in the stuff that we had on day one to today, we've been experiencing 5 to 15% growth in a very competitive economy. Yeah, the economy is good right now, but it's still competitive. There's 1,500 Derek's out there doing the thing I'm doing on their product. So you're always getting your piece of the pie. But the thing that we see as far as results is we've seen increased sales. We've seen more resellers interested in knowing more about our products.
Yeah.
And we see purchase orders for things like you plant seeds and then you start to see those sales, 15 months later. And so I see the fruits of that labor now. So we're getting more and more sales on a brand that we do called Ferrofish. And when I started in 2017, I was on the road every week showing that box to everybody, how it's used for live sound, how it's used for the Broadway shows, how it's used for the Super Bowl, how it's used for broadcast. We just got a purchase order from ESPN this week on a thing that I did in November last year, showing them this audio networking tool, and they bought like 7 or 8. So it takes time.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with the whole idea of sales funnel. So you're always on the top line funnel. You're always planting seeds and, you're cultivating those leads because these sales cycles are not always, I show you a product, you buy it a day later.
No way.
Yeah. So it's just, and we do have that, but most of our stuff is 6 months, 12 months, 15 months. And in the church market, it can be 3 years sometimes.
Well, dude, man, if there's one major piece of advice you'd like folks listening to this episode to walk away with, these other sales reps or sales leaders, what's that one major piece of advice, Derek?
Be the best listener. The mistake be the best listener. Yeah. The mistake I see, I mean, I'm 48. I'll be 49 in a couple months. And
congratulations,
the biggest mistake that I see, because I'm now at an age where I'm interviewing people. I still think of myself as 25, but I'm not. And I'm interviewing, people coming up. And the biggest mistake I see is people want to talk. And that's the biggest mistake you can make in sales. And the thing is, you want to know more about your customer than they do if you can. Do your research. I'm amazed at how many people walk into a sales call and didn't even go to the company's website.
No, and not know what they do.
It's crazy. I'm like, why would you do that? And then be prepared to ask questions. Like I used to teach retail salespeople, I'd say, all right, if you could ask this question imagine you go into a music store and say, okay, ask the retailer, because they don't have time. They're fielding calls. They're like, just a minute, I'll be right with you. Hey, what is the best performing product line in your store? And listen to that response.
Yeah.
Because people love to talk about success. What is the worst performing guitar brand in your store. If you could replace the worst brand with my top 3 sellers, would that be of interest? And most people go, all right, well, this guy probably has something that's selling. Yeah, so asking questions and really listening is more important than any feature benefit presentation you could ever do. It really is.
So true, man. And you guys did that today with me, and hopefully we'll have this new equipment set up in our office as well.
Well, we're here to help if you're interested.
If folks out there want to get in touch with you, they want to learn from you as an individual, and perhaps they maybe can learn about the brand and stuff like that, what's the best way for them to go ahead and get a hold of you, Derek?
Well, you'd probably go to LinkedIn and just look up I have a pretty unique name, Derek, spelled like Derek Jeter from the Yankees, Derek, Badala, Badala. You could find me there easily. Our company is RME. So you could go to rme-usa.com and do the, contact us, and you'll probably get something to me as well. So pretty easy to find me. If you Google my name, I do a lot of demos. I used to work for a guitar company. I'm all over Google or YouTube doing presentations. So I'm not hard to find.
Awesome. Well, we'll put this stuff back in our show notes today so folks can get access to you. Thank you so much, Derek. We appreciate you.
Thanks for the time.
Awesome.
All right.
Man, I'm telling you, Derek came, he saw, he delivered. His company has an office here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They're a great organization. We have a link back in our show notes. And if you know anyone that needs any type of audio help, you heard some of the clients that they work with. I mean, folks like the Super Bowl, the NFL is not a small organization, right? They have some really large clients, and I highly recommend you go ahead and check them out. See if this is something that could benefit you and your organization as well as they help companies like me, a small firm who is trying to develop and get our podcasting game and our audio equipment to the next level. Find all the details back in the show notes. And while you're there, check out Sales Success Summit. The 1%ers, those sales reps that are killing it, the ones that are getting the Rolex and the big trips and our President Club, we want to figure out what in the world they're doing to make this happen. Imagine if you could sit down with them and have conversation. That's what's happening at Sales Success Summit. Go back into the show notes, get your butts to Austin, Texas, sign up for this event, be a part of it, network, learn, and grow. Also, you may have sales reps, individuals that, they probably just need to get the basics. They need to get the training, and they need someone who can walk them and give them a hand holding down the path. And right now you're trying to build out the organization. You need some help with that. Go ahead and send them to me. TSE Certified Sales Training Program will help your new and struggling sellers get up to par. Find more information in the show notes to salesevangelist.com/toward episode number 1170. I share stuff like this because I want to help you guys. I want you to be successful as well. I want you to be able to find more ideal customers. I want you to be like Derek and have great success, develop your conversations and to be more consultative. I want you guys to ultimately close more deals. But most importantly, I want to challenge you each and every single day to go out and do big things. Hey, listen, I hope you enjoyed the episode today as much as I did. And if so, I ask that you go ahead and leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. It goes a long way. This is my birthday month, man. And if I could get some more of you leaving your testimonial about how you love the show, that'll make me feel really happy. It would be an awesome birthday gift. And to top it off, I'm going to pick a few of them and read them on one of our upcoming episodes. How about that? I appreciate you. Our show today was produced by myself and the Sales Podcast Network. It was edited and mixed together by the one and only Jershino Bale. Our guest correspondent is May Marr. Our amazing artworks are created by Dessen. Our show note were created by Rael. And our podcast production manager is Mrs. Shannon Rasmussen. You can find audio credits in each of our show notes. And as always, I am your host, your coach, your mentor, your guide down the sales journey, Mr. Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. Sales Podcast Network.